Bonjour, and welcome back to the Root and Rise podcast. I'm your host, Brienne, and today we are entering a new era of you. We will do this through my series on the seasons of growth and transformation. It is based on both the seasons and cycles of life and growth. I'm talking about death, rebirth, rooting, sprouting, rising, and blooming. This is the ultimate growth series to help you enter a new era of you. Or as I like to call it, your bloom era. And we are doing it together because this podcast is entering its own bloom era. The Root and Rise podcast is going through its own death, rebirth, and coming out with a fresh new name, the Bloom Era podcast. This podcast has always been dedicated to your healing, growth, and empowerment, and will continue to be, just with a brand new name, breathing new life into my brand, my podcast, and my work. I'm still here to deliver you the same revitalizing energy of letting go, allowing change into your life, embracing that change, and stepping into the life that you want and deserve. Entering your bloom era. Whenever we get close to ringing in the new year, all you ever hear about is New Year's resolutions. These goals tend to be pretty large and very specific. We expect to go from 0 on December 31st to 100 on January 1st. A drastic change overnight. If we're being completely honest, these resolutions tend to fade away with time, or don't even happen because it becomes too overwhelming to maintain such a drastic change overnight. But you deserve that change you are seeking, that transformation that you want for yourself. You deserve to enter a new era of you, to the best version of you, a bloom era, if you will. Well, I'm here to introduce a new concept for your New Year's resolutions to get you there. Continued personal growth. Setting goals throughout the year instead of just once a year. True transformation and change takes time. It doesn't just happen overnight. You might be familiar with this concept if you've been following along with the podcast for a while, but stay with me here. This is unlike anything I've done in the past. And trust me, I'm not trying to ruin New Year's resolutions for you. No one said you had to pick a single goal for the whole year, right? Really, a resolution is just a promise to make better for yourself or your life. So why does this need to be done just once a year? Honestly, we could all benefit from reflecting back on our lives, habits, and choices far more than once a year. This keeps you accountable. Don't worry, we will still be making resolutions today. The difference is I will be setting you up for success with this concept. I will also be giving you a roadmap to enter this new era of you, as well as all of the tools you'll need along the way. And I'll be with you the entire time. I got you, my friend. Now that we've got that all cleared up, let's get back to the concept of continued personal growth. Let's be real, I have no idea what my life is going to look like 3 months from now, let alone a year from now. If the pandemic taught us anything, it's that you can't actually predict what's to come. Things are always changing, so how can you possibly know what you're going to need or want 9 months from now? You won't know until you're there. Relationships change, dynamics change, we get new opportunities, both for loss and for growth. We have a chance at transformation in ways we could have never predicted. I believe that New Year's resolutions should be a promise for continued personal growth and not just a single goal for the entire year. We can still have smaller goals that we focus on. That's all a part of the process. But this allows your goals to be flexible as your life evolves throughout the year, and as we discover new areas of growth or opportunities for positive change. With a year full of continued growth, you can set multiple goals along the way. Have a new focus every month. That's what I do in my personal planner. 1 month, you might be more concerned with taking care of yourself and dive into self-care. The next month's theme might be boundaries, learning how to set them and maintain them with others. You never know when life might throw you a curveball or a new lesson to focus on while you are on the way to a new era of you. Monthly goals instead of yearly ones allow you to be continually working on your personal development and adapting as your life evolves, working towards that overall goal of what you want. A new era of you, true transformation, your bloom era. That gives you the opportunity as each new month approaches to reflect back on the previous one. You can look at your present moment and decide where you want to shift your focus to. What would you like to cultivate in your life? Are there areas that you're slacking in that could use a little bit more attention? Then figure out what it would take to get you there. If you're reflecting back on your previous month and finding that your goal hasn't been quite met yet, it's okay to keep the same focus for the next month. A month isn't always a realistic time frame for a goal. Either keep to the same track that you are on now or find a new path to get there. So now that we are aware that this new era of you can start today, but it doesn't happen overnight, let's figure out what kind of growth or transformation you want for yourself and your life. We will build a vision board later on in the seasons of growth, but to give you a place to start today or a point of focus for this new era of you, you are welcome to start that project now. Visualization can be a strong tool and motivator, which is why I will encourage you to create a vision board, a mood board, or even a list filled with everything you want for your new era, or everything you envision when you picture your best self. However you prefer to build a vision of this new and transformed version of you is perfectly okay. I've done this by creating a new and secret Pinterest board, or even just a new photo album in my phone. Search and find images, words, or even colors that speak into the new era or rebirth you are creating within yourself. You can find role models for styles, songs that inspire you, or anything else that screams this new era of you. Having a strong visual like this collection can help motivate you. Seeing all of these goals, dreams, wants, and desires for yourself very clearly laid out in front of you gives you that visual reminder of what you're working for in life, what this rebirth and new era of you is all about. If you are interested in a vision board exercise or walkthrough, please let me know in the comments below or in my anonymous community survey. I'm always happy to deliver more of what you want. Also, ask yourself, what are some goals for yourself? Want to read more? Set new boundaries? Put yourself out there more? Gain more confidence? Heal even further? Find love? Maybe with another, but most definitely with yourself. Find new friendships? End a bad habit? And maybe leaning into vulnerability or finally building up the courage to move to a new city. Maybe you want to be debt-free by next year or land a new job by the summer. It doesn't matter how big or small the goal is. That's entirely up to you. I will encourage and support you with all of your goals along the way to your bloom era. And because I know how overwhelming it can be at times, I've done a lot of the work for you. I've created a Seasons of Growth planner, both the free digital version available on my website and the physical copy available for purchase, as well as a free email challenge to guide you through the whole process. My Seasons of Growth planner is filled with daily journal prompts to set intentions for the day ahead, encourage growth throughout the day, and reflect back on your day. You can track your hourly, daily, and monthly tasks as well as goals. It also includes tons of tracking pages to manage all of your shopping lists, to-be-read lists, savings, and even a mood tracker to watch how you're feeling throughout the process. Both the free digital version and the paid physical version are available on my website. In my free Seasons of Growth email challenge, every 2 weeks throughout the series, you receive a customized set of journal prompts, positive affirmations, song recommendations, quotes, and more podcasts for whatever season of growth you are in. All of those links will be included in the episode description. These are designed to guide you through these seasons of growth with a little bit more ease, so you know what steps to take next and you aren't just stuck to fend for yourself throughout all of this. Whether you choose to utilize my Seasons of Growth planner or email challenge, what I really want to drive home here is that you have to be dedicated to your own growth every single day. It's not enough to visualize, want, or desire this change for yourself. You have to take the steps to get there. These are the very tools that I've used to carry myself through all of these seasons of growth, and what led me here today with you on your journey to growth. I need you to do something big for me really quick. Well, it's more for you. I need you to make a promise to yourself to try this for 3 months and stick to it. Don't worry, I will be by your side through it all, especially if you take advantage of my email challenge, my planner, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the new seasons. But remember, a resolution is really just a promise to yourself. So let's make that promise now. Let's make that commitment. And then let's talk about how we're going to follow through with that promise. If you've been following me for a while, you may be somewhat familiar with this process, but I have taken it so much deeper and made a much more comprehensive plan for growth and transformation. It's something that I hope you'll revisit at least once a year, if not every 3 months. That's what I do, and that's why my planner is a 3-month planner. It's designed to help you refresh and redirect every 3 months. I've formulated a process for transformation, the Ultimate Growth Series, to help you enter this new era of you. The process, as I mentioned before, is based on the seasons of growth: death or letting go, rebirth, rooting, sprouting, rising, and blooming. This is your roadmap to the new era of you. And like I said, I will be with you every step along the way. I've explained what Bloom Era stands for, what your Bloom Era stands for. But let me paint you a Bob Ross style picture of this growth process. Imagine a flower, ideally your most favorite flower. In order for that flower to bloom, it had to pass through several stages first. It started out as a seed in the beginning. And believe it or not, that seed came from the death or loss of itself or another plant before it. Maybe it was a loss as large as a wildfire, or as small as a seed falling from another plant. Much like loss can happen in large and small ways in our own lives, creating space for something new to grow. Either way, that seed formed roots beneath the surface, strong roots to anchor and ground the plant throughout its growth process. This growth was invisible above the surface, much like the inner work that happens in each one of us. And once a strong and solid root system had been built, this plant now has the ability to sprout and rise through the other side, standing tall and proud, preparing to bloom. That is an overview and a little Bob Ross style painting of the process of growth and transformation that I've witnessed in life, and that I've personally experienced more than once. Let's walk through each of those seasons of growth a little more in depth so you know exactly what to expect, what's coming next, and can start preparing for each season of growth. The first is the season of death and letting go. This season sounds a little scary, but I promise you, it creates so much space for the growth and transformation that is to come. We are going to be pruning off dead leaves in your life, ones that are taking up your energy for growth and space for all of the newness you want to enter into your life. We can't just cram all of this change we want into our life. We actually have to make space for it. I understand that this season of death or letting go might feel like hitting rock bottom or like the ultimate loss to you. Maybe the loss of relationships, the death or loss of who you are, what you know, what you do, where you exist in life, or what exists right along with you. I've been there. Maybe you are already there. Maybe you know that there is loss and hard changes ahead on this journey to growth and transformation. Either way, you don't deserve to be stuck in this place. And that's why I'm here, to give you the tools, actionable steps, mindset shifts, and new perspectives to pull you out of this place and get you right back onto the path to blooming. It won't happen overnight. This is a multi-part series dedicated to guiding you through all of the seasons and cycles of growth that will land you right in your bloom era with me. The season of death can be ugly, it can be messy and dark. Saying goodbye and letting go of things that meant a lot to us, and maybe still do, can be incredibly challenging. Whether it's a relationship, friendship, old habits, old mindsets, where we live, how we live, or even who we thought we were. It can feel like a deep, deep loss, felt right to the core. Loss of the familiar or what was comfortable to us, or maybe what still is. It feels like the ending of a chapter, a book, or even a storyline. But it's not the end of your story. It's the end of that old way of being, the end of that situation, or maybe that person's part in your story. But it is not the end of your story, or you. In this season of growth, we will identify what we need to let go to grow. We will go through many areas of life that commonly hold people back from their best selves and best lives. And we will process, acknowledge, and move through all of the emotions that come up along the way, from grief to anger. I'll leave you with some mindset shifts and help you take control of your story. Take control of your life. In fact, this is the chapter where you are creating new space in your life for better things to come. This is the chapter where you take control of writing it for yourself. You are the author now. This is the first step into your new era, your transformation, your rebirth, which is the next season that we are going to focus on, rebirth, or what I like to call the seed stage. Others call it a comeback or a glow up. It can be another uncomfortable season of growth and a little messy. Just like traumas are relative, a rebirth or reinvention of self is also relative. We have highs and lows in life all of the time. I go through seasons of life where I'm crushing it, caring for myself, recording often, showing up online. And then I have seasons of growth where I need to turn in, hunker down, heal, and face my pain. Life gets hard. Whatever brought you here is valid. And I am so honored to be here for this important part of your journey to healing, growing, transformation, and blooming. The visual example that I pull from for rebirth is wildfire. It's the complete and radical act of letting go, the complete destruction and death of what was. The rebirth stage to me feels like needing to purge myself of everything negative. Just wildfire, burn it down. And not burn it down for the sake of devastation or destruction, but to see the truth in ourselves and others, the world, and then choosing to be different, choosing to change, to live in your truth, to grow and evolve and enter this new era of you. Just like some species of trees whose cones require fire in order to release their seeds. You heard me right. They actually require the devastation of a forest fire to grow. And just like a forest can thrive with controlled burns or planned fires that are used to manage land and reduce the risk of wildfires, we too can thrive with controlled burns. They can be used to manage our life and reduce the risk of more pain, trauma, or suffering. I found a lot of comfort in my personal healing after I found that new perspective of rebirth and new growth. Having gone through my own wildfires in life, I have been able to release seeds and actually introduce my own rebirth despite the devastation. The fires in my life cracked me open, and those cracks allowed light in for the first time in my entire life. It allowed growth I was incapable of before, and you can too. We will do this by finally focusing on accepting what was and focusing on what will be. This new era of you that we are growing and transforming into. We will choose something different for ourselves, address any limiting beliefs we have left, and become fireproof. This will be the section we focus more on building that vision board that you're welcome to start now. But we are also going to acknowledge this profound change that we have welcomed into our life through some sort of rite of passage for ourselves, commemorating our new era. The next season of growth is rooting. It's about the inner work necessary to spark the outer changes that you want. This is the rebuild after the death and the rebirth. After the wildfire or controlled burn comes through our life, we are planting new seeds in our minds, our hearts, and our lives, ones that help us grow to our full potential. We are returning to our roots and tending to them in all of the ways that they deserve. This season is the snake shedding its skin. And I can't wait for you to see what's waiting on the other side. The season of rooting is about the inner work necessary to spark the outer changes you want. The inner work and inner changes need to happen before the outer work and the outer changes can. Just like a plant can't stand without a strong root system beneath the surface, its own form of inner work. Our new era can't stand without doing that inner work and building that root system for ourselves. Beneath the surface. We will overcome the fear of the unknown, assess and realign all areas of our life, from our home to our social circle to our bodies and relationship to self. In the rooting season, we will set new intentions, new routines, and unpack even more areas of your life that might be holding you back, all while starting small, because I know how overwhelming that inner work can be at times. The fourth season of growth is sprouting. This stage of true beginnings can feel a lot like Bambi's first steps. You might feel awkward and unsure showing up in the world as this new version of you. But you're doing the damn thing, and I want to support you in that. You and I can see the changes and progress that you've made, and maybe others are starting to see it too. But you might not feel confident showing up in this new way. We're beginners in this, and we're not expected to have it all together at first. We might be stumbling along and figuring it out along the way, putting into practice what we've worked to build so far. Trying to be someone new in the world and showing others this new and improved version of ourselves can be a little uncomfortable. both for them and you. This season is here to help you navigate all of that with a little bit more ease. It's helping to bridge the gap between who you were and who you are becoming. We will become comfortable with feeling uncomfortable, even going as far as pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zone a little bit more to find new places, people, and experiences that will help us grow further. Don't worry, we will also talk about ditching self-doubt because I'm sure that's creeping up already as you're hearing about this season. We will find confidence, find your voice, set boundaries, and we will even talk about how to handle the reactions of others when they see you enter this new era of you. The next season of growth is rising. This is where we celebrate who you are and who you are becoming, leaning even further into living authentically and remaining dedicated. There will be some leaves to pluck and some lessons to still learn along the way, but we are truly stepping into this new era of you, into the best version of yourself. Celebrating and acknowledging all of this work you've done is an important way to stay consistently growing. And it's important for your confidence to see all you have overcome, all you are capable of overcoming. Not only will we celebrate the best self-work you've ever done, but we will also be finding some new dead leaves to pluck along the way to inspire even more growth beyond this season. We will also address how to stay out of that dreaded comparison trap that we all fall into sometimes. We will find the right people that uplift you on your journey of growth and start to learn how to be that person for others, all while maintaining our independence. Along the way, we will begin to address any roadblocks we might have with truly experiencing joy or celebrating ourselves, and find time for play. All of the work that we've done up until this point can feel so heavy. It's time to welcome some lightness into our life. The last season of growth is blooming, where we fully experience all that we were and all that we are now, rejecting any self-sabotaging behaviors or limiting beliefs that are still lingering, trying to prevent us from celebrating or living authentically as our true selves, and how to turn around and help others do the same. We will fight the fear of losing all of this goodness, reflect back on our growth and transformation, and celebrate a new rite of passage into this new era of you, all while finding time to rest, because this self-work is just that, work, and you deserve some rest. This season of growth is rewriting your self-story and even planning for what's to come, the continued personal growth we talked about, because it doesn't just end here. We should always be striving to grow and evolve as life does. Are you ready to enter your bloom era? To be the best version of yourself? Everything that you envisioned while I was laying out this roadmap for you? Or are you ready to figure it out along the way with me? Because you deserve it. Like I mentioned earlier, you don't deserve to be stuck in this place or stuck just simply dreaming about this life. You deserve to have it all for yourself, everything you want. And that's why I'm here, to give you the tools, actionable steps, mindset shifts, and new perspectives to help pull you out of this spot, to get you on the path to blooming. As one last reminder, it won't happen overnight. That's why this is a multi-part series. It's dedicated to all of the seasons and cycles of growth that will land you right here with me in your bloom era. But I know you have it in you to do the work of each season and enter this new era of you. And how do I know this? Because look at how much you've already overcome. Look at how far you've come. Look at this desire that has been planted in your heart. It's been planted there for a reason. I'm here to show you that you are worthy of achieving those dreams, because that is the foundation. If you don't believe that you're worthy, you're not going to get very far. You have to trust that you are being called to this for a reason. This vision was placed in your heart, in your mind, so you can chase it. That vision is unique to you. You and I might have similar dreams, but they will never be the same. That is the beauty of individuality. If you find yourself feeling like a fraud or like you're not worthy of your dreams before the next part of this series comes out, check out my episode on overcoming imposter syndrome. I quoted Noam Chomsky. If you assume that there is no hope, you guarantee that there will be no hope. You have to believe there is hope, that you can and will achieve your dreams. Now, I completely understand that it's not just a switch that flips, It's a continued practice, just like these New Year's resolutions, this new era of you and all of the transformation that is to come. You have to learn how to believe in yourself. I spent over 20 years of my life having my self-worth chipped away at. I had a mother who wasn't present to show me I was deserving of love or attention. I put myself into relationships that took away my voice. There were traumas that tried to steal pieces away from me and crush my dreams. I know that sounds dramatic, but I've had some pretty bad stuff happen. So in starting this podcast, I had to learn how to use my voice. I had to believe that I had a message that I could help others with. I had to believe despite everything I had experienced up until that point. And honestly, I still struggle with it from time to time. Your reviews, ratings, comments, and love sent to me through my community surveys remind me that I'm helping you. But sometimes it gets quiet and I'm not really sure if I'm actually helping you. I struggle with my own imposter syndrome. We all fall prey to it. But you have to know that you deserve more, that you are worthy of more and capable of achieving it. I wouldn't be here today, 4 years later, and now ranked in the top 5% of all podcasts globally, if I hadn't have been able to overcome my negative self-talk, my self-doubt, and imposter syndrome, if I hadn't have accepted the challenge for change, transformation, and growth in my own life. So now I'm going to ask you, are you willing to accept this challenge for yourself? The challenge to step into this new era of you, this new and improved version of you. We are starting early, which is why I'm sharing this in December and not the new year. This is our winter arc. A winter arc is an opportunity to focus on yourself and develop some new healthy habits before winter truly arrives and those New Year, New You posts start showing up. It's going to be a journey to get there, and I am here with you for the entire journey. In the next part of this series, Death and Letting Go, we will identify exactly what we need to let go to grow. As a reminder, we will go through many areas of life that commonly hold people back from their best selves and their best lives, from limiting beliefs to excuses and comparison. And we will process, acknowledge, and move through all of the emotions that come up along the way, from grief to anger. I'll leave you with some mindset shifts and help you take control of your story, take control of your life, before sending you along to the next season of growth, rebirth. Thank you so much for being here with me for another episode of the Bloomera podcast, formerly known as the Root and Rise podcast, and for joining me in this series on the seasons of growth. You can get my planner, join the email challenge, and find all of the links that I mentioned in the episode description below. You can also make this friendship official by following me over on Instagram or TikTok at Bloomera Podcast. Don't forget that your voice matters here. You have the power to shape future content by participating in the polls on Spotify, leaving a comment there or over on YouTube, and by participating in my anonymous community survey. Let me know what you want to hear about next or any questions that come up while listening to my podcast. I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you in the next episode.